for purposes of forecasting, the more the historical periods you have, the better. So I would want us to look at some example here where I only happen to be having two years. That is 2021 and 2023. No, 2021 and 2022. So we have here 2021, and then we have here 2022, like that. Now, then somebody comes and tells me, ladies and gentlemen, somebody comes and tells me, you know what? We would want you to forecast from 2021, 2022 historical reports. Would want you to forecast and maybe give us the income statement up to 2027. So I will not have a problem here. I will not have any problem here. Doing this really will be a walkover. What I'll do, ladies and gentlemen, here is to come and first of all, give them the forecasted periods. So forecasted periods, I'll come and say equals. I'll come and pick 2022. I say +1. 2022, I say +1. So I get 2023, yeah? I say +1 like that. And ladies and gentlemen, once I do that, then I will come and say Control Enter. So I'm able to get this 2023. Once I get this 2023, for the subsequent years, what I need to do is to come and sweep this to the right. How do we sweep? How do we highlight these other cells to the right? To sweep, we normally say Shift, right arrow. Keep on just saying Shift. I'm holding on to Shift. So I'm trying to highlight. So I've been able to highlight the cell for 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. Perhaps that is what I want. Once, ladies and gentlemen, I've been able to sweep to the right like that. Sweeping to the right is quite a nice terminology in Excel, which basically tells me to highlight the cells to the right. And once I've been able to sweep like that, for me to be able to populate the other cells, then what do I need to do? Who can be remembering what I need to do next after sweeping? Somebody who is in my Excel class currently, can you kindly tell me the next thing that I need to do after sweeping over, after highlighting these other cells to the right? What should I do? Somebody who is in my current Excel class, I can't take one answer alone. I'm so sure I must be having several. I must be having several students. What should I do if I've been able to sweep this thing to the right? And now I'm in this process of populating automatically. Thank you so much. They're telling me to come and press Control R. So Control R basically takes me and fills all the cells which are on the right side, I'll be able to repeat this, but before I repeat this, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. Of course, for me to be able to predict the future, I would need a section here where I will come and put assumptions. So I would want to do an assumption for revenue growth. I would want an assumption for COG, that is cost of sales, cost of goods sold. We just call it a cost of sales for simplicity. I would want an assumption. So then how do we get these assumptions? We know that for revenue, I will come and calculate what we call revenue growth. So how do I get this revenue growth? It's very easy. I'll come and take the current revenue. I say divide this by, this is the most current revenue, 2022's revenue. I say divide this by last year's revenue, like that. And then I'll say -1. All right. So if I do it like that, then I'm able to get the revenue growth. So then, ladies and gentlemen, this revenue growth, if I say here, Control Enter, I'm able to see 0.2 like that. All right, 0.2. How about cost of sales? We normally peg cost of sales on the revenue. I would want to know the cost of sales as a percentage of revenue. So I will come here and say cost of sales in 2021 as a percentage of revenue here, All right. And then I'll be able to say here, Control Enter. once you say control enter, you would want the same percentage cost of sales in 2022. So you have to sweep this thing to the right just once. You sweep by saying shift right arrow, and then you auto-populate. Auto-population simply tell us control to the right, control R, control R. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I would have wanted to really forecast the entire. I would have wanted really us to forecast the entire income statement, but for you here, you don't need to go through that process. Once you see what will happen here, then you should be able to use this to forecast your company's financial statements. Now listen, so the figures to use. So the figures to use. The figures to use. So the figures to use, ladies and gentlemen, here, in this case here, figures to use. Figures to use. Figures to use, we normally work with averages. Figures to use, we normally work with averages. So for revenue, I don't need to do any mathematics for revenue really, because revenue is only one number. I just need to come and say here, this 20, I pick it and put it there, put it here. If I would wish to convert this to percentage, it's very easy. Very easy. Very easy. If I need to change this to percentage, what I simply need to do is to come and say Alt H P for percentage. Alt H P for percentage. P for percentage. I'll be able to come back to this later. Now, for cost of sales, cost of goods sold, I can see two of them. So I'll need to average this. So to average this, there are so many ways. I can come and, for example, highlight these two. When I highlight these two at the lower here, at the lower here, I'm able to see this average being given, right? And if I would want to pick it, basically, I can easily pick this. I can easily pick this. I know it's 0.77, whatever, or I can come here, ladies and gentlemen. I simply say equals, I take the average function. I take the average function, I can see it is there. So this average, and then I'll be able to highlight these two. I'll be able to highlight those two. And then I'll be able to say enter. So I'm able to see this figure. If I would wish it to be in the form of percentage, if I would wish it to be in form of percentage, what do I do? It's very easy to convert this to percentage. You simply come and say Alt, hold on to Alt, hold on to Alt. When you hold on to this Alt, then you say H, P, P for percentage. It gives me 70 approximately. Of course, if I would want to increase the decimal places, again, it's very easy, Alt H0. Alt H0 will give me number of decimal places. Alt H0 here will give me number of decimal places. So every time I want to do this, if I want to reduce, I'll say Alt H9, like that. But don't worry about this. These are shortcuts that I'll be able to show you. And they're shortcuts which come with practice, Now then, ladies and gentlemen, once I've been able to do this, it will be very important for you to differentiate. It will be very important for you to differentiate between your years, which years here are actuals and which years here are forecasted. So these 2 years are actuals. I'll come and highlight it. Go to the custom here. So this custom, my internet is unstable. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. So in this case here, in this custom where they're saying general, I would want to custom. I write 0 for the number, 0 for the number, and then I say in this case here, open quotations. Open quotations, I put capital A for actual, close quotations. I close quotations like that. And then of course, I'm able to apply this. So you'll be able to see 2021 actual, 2022 actual. And then these ones here from 2023, if I just go there, I'll be able to say here, control 1. I go to custom. So under custom in the title here, general, put my cursor there, delete there. I write 0 to represent the number. And then I say open quotation. I say F there. I close my quotation there. And then I'll be able to say, okay. And then all the numbers now will be having forecasted. Any financial modeler will always differentiate between actuals and the forecasted. If you're not able to differentiate like that, then you are not born to be an accountant, or rather you need to learn how to do it very fast, because every accountant should be able to do this. Now from there, we start our forecasting. So like now the 2023 revenue will be 2022 times 1.2, because now the revenue is projected to grow. It's projected to grow by 20%. It's projected to grow by 20%. This revenue is projected to grow by 20%. So then I need to come here and say equals, I pick this revenue, which is 120,000. I say times, open brackets, I'll say 1.2. But if you wish, you can say 1 plus, you pick this revenue growth rate of 20%. But if you're using this concept, then you need to lock this 20% because 20% now should not be changing. It should be the same throughout. So if I want to lock this 20%, can somebody give me the way forward of locking? Can somebody in this case here talk to me? How do I lock this 20%? Can somebody talk to me? How do I lock this 20%, ladies and gentlemen? How do I lock this 20%, ladies and gentlemen? How do I lock this 20%, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much. They're telling me, Mwalimu, press F4. And then you close. And then you say Control Enter. When you say like that, now you can see that. And then, of course, the beautiful thing with the Excel, now you don't have to calculate the others. What you need to do is to come and sweep all the figures to the left, to the right. I mean, you sweep them. So how do we sweep them? Can somebody in this case here tell me, what do I do to sweep? Sweeping in Excel means highlighting the cells to the right. We normally sweep the right. Can somebody give me, what do I need to do to sweep the right? What do I need to do to sweep the right? What do I need to do to sweep the right? What do I need to do to sweep the right? What do I need to do to sweep the right? They're not talking to me. It is shift, right arrow, like that. You shift and then right arrow. And then now to automatically populate the revenues for the other years, you simply say Control R. R means right, control the right. It comes up everything like that. Great, I love this. So go to 2023, cost of sales is a percentage. So like now we know on average, the cost of sales here in 2023 will be 78% of the revenue. So I'll come here and pick the revenue first. It doesn't matter. I say times 78%. This 78% has to be locked. So I need to come and say F4. Which one did I type really? I need to come and say F4 like that. All right. All right. And then once I do that, ladies and gentlemen, now I need to come and say Control Enter. So when I say Control Enter, I know I also need to do the same to the cells on the right. Cells on the right. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'll come and sweep the right. So Shift, you go like that, up to there, and then Control to the right. You have these figures. And if you try, for example, like if it is 2028 forecasted the cost of sales, if you try this, if you try multiplying this, if you take, for example, here, listen here, if I say here equals, I pick this figure, I say times 78%, I say times 0.78, I say times 0.78, I say times 0.78 like that, then I'll be able to get this 279. It's coming to 279. Let me check. Oh, it's because of rounding off error. It's because of rounding off error, because of rounding off error. It's because of rounding off error. If, for example, I was to come here and I say Alt Home percentage, that's okay. Alt Home 0, all right. So if I say Alt Home 0, or I increase basically if I increase this, or I come back here, just a minute, I come back here, use this one here, I use 77.5, like that approximately. Then I should be able to get these 277, 690, 6.5 comfortably. So all these figures are in agreement. If I pick, for example, like any figure here, I take the revenue of 2027, I say times the figure that we have here, then I should be able to get exactly the figure that is the beautiful thing with Excel. Now come here, ladies and gentlemen, remember for me to get gross profit, I did take a formula, 120 minus this 90 to get 30. So I don't need to redo the formula. What I need to do is to sweep across. So come and say Shift, right arrow, right arrow, right arrow, right arrow, right arrow, right arrow until I got the end. And then I say comfortably Control R. Then I'll be able to get this like that. Like that. So now that marks the end of my today's presentation. And of course, I would want to take this opportunity to urge all of you. It doesn't matter whether you are doing this for purposes of CASNEB business data analytics. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't do what I'm doing here, if you can't do what you've seen me doing here as an accountant, game yako iko chini. Game yako iko chini. Ukubali usikubali. Ukubali usikubali. The moment you're able to do like what I'm able to do here, you'll get like where I work. I mean, I have to be paid for golf clubs, Capital Club. I'm a member there. Simply, Excel is a huge thing. Only that accountants, especially accountants here in Kenya, I work for a Swedish company. I've never seen any Swedish accountant who does not know who does not know Excel. It's only it's only in Africa you get an accountant not being so nice in Excel, and then they keep on complaining employers, why is this employer giving me 100,000? It's because there are basics you don't know. You don't know Excel, you're not good in SAP, you don't know, for example, like how to use some group consolidation tool called Arrow, etc. Otherwise, the moment you're good in software and you are a CPAK, you have your BCom, you will go places that you've never seen before. So make use of this Mwalimu. Currently, as I'm able to teach you, I'm available to teach you, and at a very low rate. That's 8,000 Kenya shillings, and you'll be able to be very good in this particular in this particular industry. Great. So the recordings, we normally send recordings to the paid group, Absalom. We normally send this to the paid group. So if you want to be getting these recordings, please get in touch. Our number is 0719 525,000. Our number is 0719 525,000. And of course, like now, these are free of charge presentation. I'll be hanging this on YouTube. Should you get it on YouTube, I expect you to, first of all, follow me on YouTube. And then most importantly, ensure that you like or subscribe or comment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope for the students who have been with me from the beginning, you've gotten some concept. Is there somebody who has gotten some concept? Is there somebody who has gotten some great concept? Is there somebody who has gotten some great concept? Is there somebody who has gotten some great concept? They're not giving me feedback. They're not giving me feedback. You know, there are things that you get people doing here. You'll get, for example, assuming I've got these kind of numbers here. Assuming I have, for example, RT, YYY, assuming I've got some other thing here like JJJ, KKKK, OOO, PPP, like that. So you'll get somebody who has been given this kind of data. This kind of data, for example, JKKKKK, this kind of data like that. And then he's required in this case here to interpret. So because these words are not able to fill in the cell, I got some time back where I used to work, my boss doing this, and I really sympathized. And this is a person who is highly learned, even with CFA, etc., and he was doing something really, allow me to use a bad term, stupid, that this person was coming here to Excel, right? And then now you see these things are very many. So again, this person comes here, tries to do that, fitting, he comes again. So he comes even cost of sales, say, you don't do that, you as a professional. As a professional, what you need to do is to come and highlight the whole sheet by saying Control A, or you can come to this particular junction here, you click here, this junction here, you click there to highlight the entire sheet, and then you go to any cell in between, any column, in between B and C, I can see something there, right? It can even be here. And once now you are here, you double click. Once you double click now, all the words, regardless of where they are, they'll be able to fit in. Let me take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, to ask you a simple question. Is there somebody here? Please don't hide. Is there somebody who has been, in this case here, moving those, increasing the size of those columns manually? Anybody who has been doing it manually, please tell me the truth. Is there anybody who has been doing this manually? Please tell me, is there somebody who has been doing this manually? Why are they not talking to me? Because I'm so sure there must be somebody. Thanks, Josie. Thanks, Lydian. We like guilt here. We like people who are so honest like that. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure meeting you. I don't want to take more of your time. I would want you guys to go and grab something. Or rather, before you go, there's also some other mistake that I normally see some people doing. So you get, ladies and gentlemen, for example, if I was just to delete this, the whole of this, even to delete a column. How do you delete a column or a row? You simply say Control minus. Now you'll get somebody in this case here, for example, this person has been told to add the total for column, assuming you are adding, somebody has been told to add. So somebody will come and say, yeah, equals the Take like that, and then they'll be able to add this, assuming, of course, I know they're not supposed to be added. Great. So they'll be able to add it, they get 200,000. And then they start, in this case here, for example, they will tell you, let me drag this. And they're dragging, so as if they are carrying a stone, as if they're carrying a stone. Who told you Excel is normally used like that? Right? And even after dragging like that, they realize that there are some things here which are not, when you see like this, it means numbers are not able to fit in the cell. No problem. Now they have known what to do. Now they have known they'll come and hit this, go anywhere here, and then double click, and then now all the numbers will come out so nicely. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. I was here, I was here, I was here, I was here. If I say Control Z, you see a good student who knows Excel, a good student who knows Excel really, a good student who knows Excel really, whenever it comes to adding, what they will do is to say Alt equals. When you say Alt equals, that thing comes up like that. And then you say Control Enter. Once you say Control Enter, you sweep this thing to the right. How do you sweep to the right? You'll come and say here, Shift, right arrow, up to K there. And then now you say Control to the right. And then you'll get your bosses really respecting you. You'll get your bosses really respecting you. You can come and say Control All. And then I say here, just double click in between there. Double click in between here. Double click in between there. And then my numbers will be okay. My numbers will be okay. My numbers will be okay. Great. I love Excel. I'm so particular with Excel. Actually, even my wife, I told her, if you don't learn this Excel, really, even my love for you will go now down. She had to work so hard to be better than myself. And that is why even some of the classes that I have in the evening, I should be inviting her to teach you. It is something we have to agree, because Excel is, it's everything. It's everything. Like if you're doing a small business, you simply organize your daily data on Excel. Daily data on Excel. If you're using SAP, you need to know how to transfer data, export data from SAP to Excel, simply because of what there's so much you can do in Excel. So if I continue speaking, I think I will be able to be very, very unfair to you, because you guys need to eat lunch. Remember, you had budgeted to eat lunch, isn't it? You must have budgeted to eat lunch. You must be having some money with you there. And we don't want also to disadvantage the hotel people. They will need that money for money circulation. It has been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And you need to be supporting Mwalimu on Facebook all over, because I'm the only Mwalimu who goes ahead to give you the secrets which are needed outside here. How many teachers do what I do? Very few, very few. I could be the only one. So when you see on Facebook, tell people that Facebook does what not Facebook, but thank you, Paddy. Learning online is a reality. Learning online is a reality. The accountants' jobs now are being done remotely through the cloud, etc. So if you want to become good in this thing, first of all, stop going to anybody's physical classes. Don't study in any physical class, even in your master's or whatever. Just get a very good laptop. Start studying from home with your laptop through the internet, like now what you guys are doing here today. Once you start getting to appreciate, like, how do I do the typing, you are getting a very important skill. Username is Joshua Aura. Thank you, Mary. My username is Joshua Aura. Joshua Aura. So that is it. And of course, my name is Dr. Joshua Aura. I teach at RCM Online College. Unfortunately, the link came in late. What we could do today at about 5 p.m. Today at about 5 p.m. Can I organize a session, a full session now, a 1-hour session, and then we download the income statement of our company. I take you through. Yes, I'll send it. I take you through. Can I do that? At 5 p.m., will you be available, or you'll still be working? What time is appropriate for you guys?